Bangers on bangers on bangers.
On bangers. Protect Jamel Hill at all costs. At all costs. This isn't a game. Industry rule number 4080, episode number deuce.
I guess.
Numero deuce.
Yeah.
You already know what time it is, coming off of the dome, man. It's your boy DTown, a.k.a. Tuxedo Flask, a.k.a. Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct Gloku, a.k.a. the xOquhK, and I'm here rocking with the one and only
Mello Digital, Mello Dee, you know, Mello Delicious if you're nasty. We ain't even gonna get into all that. So let's get into the pre-rolls and shit like that. You know, first off, MelloDeeBeats.com. Go to MelloDeeBeats.com, get all your beats and stuff like that. Follow me on Instagram, MELLODEEBEATS. You know, I put up beats every week, man. You know, the kid is grinding, man. I just made a commitment. I'm gonna start putting more on the YouTube. So also same shit. And Mello Dee Beats YouTube, you know, you could just search it, it'll come up. But other than that, you know, I let out the track Anybody.
Yes.
You know, I haven't promoted it since the last, you know, week or nothing like that, because I know how music works, and I'm not going to keep shoving my shit down people's throat. But you need to fuck with it, because the shit is lit as fuck.
Liddy too.
But that's it for me. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
You already know what time it is. It's your boy DTown pulling up from 40, man. I got the joint Money. It's on Spotify, Rhapsody, Tidal. I keep saying Rhapsody because you know what it is? The reason I keep saying Rhapsody is because when I first learned how to shout out like the digital platforms that I'm on, it was like in 2007. So I was just like,
yeah, nobody uses that.
I'm like, yeah, we're on Napster, we're on Pandora, and we're on fucking Rhapsody.
You remember when it used to be
music.
so hard to get on Pandora? Now it's like, who the fuck really even wants to be on that shit? With Apple Music and Tidal and Spotify and SoundCloud.
I will tell you, like, as far as streaming services go, you get enough people to pick you up. That's the wave. Like, people still listen to Pandora, surprisingly. And it's just like, if they find your song and they like it, like,
hey, chicks used to be, Pandora is life. I'm listening to the Pretty Ricky channel or the Pleasure P channel. Like,
I'm listening to the Pleasure P channel, taking a bath with some candles.
Yo, you'll be listening to like the Yo Gotti channel, and it'll be like, you know, all these rappers come on, Jeezy, Gucci. Then it'd be like
fucking Lady Gaga.
Like fuck yeah, like it'd be like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Like, what the fuck?
Like, how the fuck did this get on here, man?
Go ahead, man. Finish your shit though.
Yo, you know they got a reunion tour? Fucking Pretty Ricky. And I can't help but to be like, no.
Them niggas is just shirts off, baby oil, humping couches.
Like, people forget the spectacular, like,
was humping couches.
Not just humping couches, but he had that red thong on doing them body waves and stuff like that in the webcam. And and then went on like BET a week later and challenged Soulja Boy and Bow Wow to a grind off or a wind off.
Like, who about to do that? Yeah.
Oh, cats forgot.
Did he not challenge Chris Brown? Because that would make more sense.
I think he might have threw Chris Brown into the mix, but I specifically remember like he challenged Bow Wow and Soulja Boy, and it was
not
like,
even Omarion. Like, damn,
it was
because Omarion might have did it.
He only challenged the niggas he was feeling at the time.
Oh wow. But go ahead, man. Finish your shit, man. What else?
Go download Money, man, on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, wherever you get your music from. If you have a hard time finding it, log on to executive.dtown.com. It'll take you right where you need to go to get yourself right. All right, stop that sinning, get right with God. Go to executive.dtown.com. All right, so
fire.
You already know what time it is, man. So it's been an interesting 2 weeks.
Well, before that, Jimmy Black, family. You know, we got to shout out the family podcast, fam gang.
Gang.
Jimmy Black, Open Secrets podcast. Fuck with it. If you follow us on SoundCloud, we repost the shit every time an episode posts. You know, D-Town was on there a couple weeks ago, man. You got to fuck with it, man. He let out another episode since then.
Yes.
You know, you got to fuck with it. Also, the regular podcast, Kilo, you know, his shit be like seasonal and shit. So, you know, that's how it be. But when it pop up, you know, I'm going to repost it, man. Yeah, yo, I was on the Insecure episode of his podcast. Now that I watched Insecure, I got to go back and listen to it because it's going to have different meaning.
Yeah.
Because I'm hip to the series now.
Dog, I need you to and I'm saying this to you as a brother. I need you to trust my TV recommendations just a little bit
Bro,
more.
what? First off, don't do that because I do trust your TV. You got some of the best recommendations for anime and TV, period.
Yeah.
But my nigga, I binge watch. I'm watching Naruto. Like I have not finished Naruto. That's a 500 episode joint.
Yeah.
And I don't stray away from shit.
But I'm just saying, hey, I called out Insecure in the early parts of the podcast, and you were like, vaginal, extremely vaginal.
Nah, that shit is lit. The way you made it sound like it was 90210 for black people, and I don't want to watch nothing moist.
No.
That shit is not moist. That shit is funny.
Yeah.
That shit is funny. And it's like, it's not some love and basketball shit. Like, it's real shit.
It's hard to explain Insecure.
She hoeing out.
I'll say this. It's hard to explain Insecure to people that haven't seen it because there's nothing like it. You know what I mean? So I think people are just, and I'm not blaming that on you or anything like that, but I think people, since there's nothing out there like it, you can't say it's like anything else. People just automatically try to associate it with something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is just fucking Tyler Perry presents a nigga and his bitch, part 1.
Yeah,
All
it's nothing like it. Now,
Yeah.
well, we gonna get into first topic. B.O.B. been out here wilding. Tell them about B.O.B.
Man, your boy B.O.B. we need to check him. I think he's suffering from like a K2 high or something like that.
This nigga
man.
said K2.
Cause this cat is just
Molly dust cocktails.
Bruh, like this cat, I don't know what it is. Like y'all gotta stop smoking them that GMO weed, man. That synthetic shit. Cause that shit's fucking with your mind, man. Your boy B.O.B. recently started a GoFundMe to raise $1 million so he could personally launch several satellites into outer space to find the curve of the Earth.
Bruh, that is the most ridiculous shit. I wish that you could have told me this like on the podcast. Like, he told me this because ain't nobody following B.O.B. The nigga's a nut, man. I wish he could have told me this on the podcast. My nigga, I screamed. Like, this nigga said he's taking your money to find the edge of the Earth
What was
with a satellite.
Yeah, like, oh man, nah, it's out there, man. We gotta prove it. I need my own satellite. I got my own team that's gonna put it together. So he raised like $5,000 before GoFundMe stepped in and was like, hold up, nigga. Like we know there's a lot of scammers on this platform. So what we need to know, we need to investigate this shit because we don't believe you have the means to launch shit.
Now, see, this is the thing, like, with this flat earth shit, because the flat earth shit, like, really took off, but it was like some old Sigmund Freud type, like, like niggas who did cocaine but was brilliant type shit. Mm-hmm. Only them motherfuckers, like, really was on that shit. And, they say, go look at this dude who, explored Antarctica. And, we gonna talk about a lot of other conspiracy shit, but I used to be like really into conspiracy theories. Then I realized like, number one, some of this shit is not really important. Like the Illuminati shit. Like, dog, if Beyonce is in the Illuminati, like,
God bless her.
My nigga, like, how does that affect your life? Like, how does that affect your life? It doesn't. The government shit affects your life. But the second thing is, this shit, like, it comes back to number one. This shit is just dumb. Like, if the world is flat and everybody's been lying to us, like, what comes next after that? We go jump off the edge? Mm. What comes next? Like, it doesn't fucking matter.
The shit that trips me out about conspiracy theorists is we can believe in the Illuminati, and we could also believe that Michael Jackson's alive and that Gucci Mane is a clone of Michael Jackson or whatever. But we don't necessarily believe in women's rights to do whatever it is with their body. Like, it's always some...
What?
Like...
What?
What? I'm going to...
Yo, yeah, finish that thought, because that just...
Because it's like I'm saying most conspiracy theorists have, like,
hate
wild...
women?
No, yes and no, but, like, they have the most extreme views. Like, they can believe some fairy tale, outlandish, crazy shit. But when it comes to like real life issues, they have some of the most skewed views on how certain things should be handled.
I will have to
investigate. Not all, but like if you probe a little bit deeper into some of them, it'd be like, yeah, nah, Beyonce's this, that, this, that, the devil in the music, and then you just scroll a little bit further down their timeline, and you'll see like all women belong pregnant, barefoot, and in the kitchen. And if she leaves the house, she needs to be buckling her seatbelt with oven mitts.
Dog, like, who is on your friends list, man? Like, I don't have no shit like that on my friends list, man.
Oh, my fault.
I got some hood rats that'll light motherfuckers up, so you know.
But bringing it full circle, closing this one out, man. Pray for B.O.B., man. Something's going wrong with this cat, man.
Drugs is a horrible thing, and yes, weed is a drug. Fuck, like, I don't care what you say. I don't care if it's herbal, my nigga. You know, you mentioned the GMO weed earlier, man. You know, the shit y'all niggas smoking, like... I just got to say this on record one time, man. Like, you know, because it's this whole movement about whole foods and non-GMOs and shit and vegetables and alkaline eating and stuff like that. Just very quickly, you know, okay, GMO food is bad.
Yeah.
Okay. You got to get natural food, natural alkaline, you know, grown shit that's not cloned or not genetically modified and shit. Okay. So if that's the case, weed is still a plant.
Yes.
It's a plant you're ingesting. So the funny thing is regular weed is natural.
Reginald.
You know, okay. But once you get to that AK-47 hybrid turbo perp daddy nast king ape shit, like, you know, the shit that's purple with the platinum glow.
Shit got gluten in it.
Like, it's like, your weed got glue. But it's one of those things like, bruh, like, what? Like, the shit you smoking is not natural. They not testing that motherfucking turbo weed on rats and saying, yeah, this is the weed that helps cure cancer. No, my nigga, you getting some shit that motherfucking Bill and Ted took from the future and brought back and fuck like that. But yeah, basically, y'all niggas is unhealthy. But anyways. You know, on another note, no segue for this. You know, the Las Vegas shooting happened, and it was at a country concert in Vegas.
Yes.
Which, you know, it's one of those things where it's like the shots popped off. You seen all the motherfucking media on Twitter. You seen people putting up raw footage from their cell phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it was tragic when it first happened. The dude,
it's still tragic. It's still it's.
I don't. That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'll
just keep it a buck with you. As far as that,
yeah,
American, like, we're fucking numb to a lot of that shit. People get over shit really fast. Like, motherfuckers, life goes on. I mean, we live in an area where motherfuckers get killed every day. So, literally every day.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's not to downplay it, but...
Nah, and, you know, of course, you know, prayers and condolences and thoughts and prayers to the people who were impacted by it. You know, it was, what was it, like 50 people?
It's a tragedy, yeah.
60 people were killed and 500 people were injured, you know, whether it was by the shooter or the crowd trampled over each other. You know, it's still really horrible, and you know, we're, like you said, we're getting numb to it. Like, every time a story like this breaks, it's always the biggest mass shooting in American history. So it's tragic, man. And you know, people are trying to talk gun laws and gun control and shit like that, man. It's just
a lot of conspiracy theories around this shit, man.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into all of that.
I don't want to get into that. All I really wanted to say on this segment was, again, thoughts and prayers to those who were impacted and the families of the victims and all of that stuff. I can only imagine the terror that, you know, they went through, that they experienced in the wake of that tragedy.
The one thing I did want to talk about, the white dude on Instagram who be fucking all the Playboy model bitches, Dan Bilzerian, it was out there. He put up some footage of himself running while the shit was going on, because he was there, and he was like, it just seen somebody get shot in the head, you know. You know, I think he lives in Vegas. Mm-hmm. He went back, got his AR-15, and, you know, he was like a war veteran and stuff. He was helping clear people out. So, you know, he's a super G, man. You know, cats always be trying to down talk him and shit, you know, because he a womanizer and stuff like that. You know, fuck all that, man. The man was out there, and he wasn't afraid to help save lives, so shout out to that, man.
Yeah, and most definitely shout out to him. But, you know, we also have to keep in mind, and I'm not trying to downplay him, you could still save lives and still be a piece of shit. One doesn't negate the other. You know, it's just that in that moment, he was a great human, a fantastic human, and we just need people to be that consistently. I'm not even going to get into the whole, this is clearly to me, it's a domestic terrorist situation and how they're referring to him as a lone wolf, a lone gunman, and trying to talk about how he liked fucking pumpernickel pie and he played
And
with
that's the
dogs
shit
on
that
the
I hate. I'm
weekend
glad
and
that
shit.
you touched on that because I was about to
Yeah,
switch to the next topic.
ain't nobody trying to hear that shit about this
But
cat, man.
that shit, it fucking kills me because it's like when it's so sad that the media is so predictable yet so shitty. Because as soon as the shit happened, we was like, okay, where the fuck is the shooter? Like, when is y'all gonna find the shooter? Like, it's Vegas. It's motherfucking police everywhere. Like, come on, bro. Like, the nigga shouldn't be able to get away with this. They find the shooter. Of course, the shooter fucking killed himself. Of course, he fucking killed himself. Motherfucker had so many guns in that room. The shit didn't even make no sense. I think they said there's 2 other shooters. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah.
And I think that was coming from official sources that there were 2 other shooters. But, that's something I didn't double check or anything like that. So I don't know. But he killed himself. All right. Now we can't get to the bottom of what happened. But even if he was alive, it's still the same thing. We was looking like how we just holding our breath. Like, how is the news gonna label this motherfucker?
Yeah.
Lone wolf. It's like
Nah,
y'all
we knew
motherfuckers
that.
come
We
up
knew
with
that.
y'all come up with like, dog. You've never heard lone wolf ever in any of these like the Batman shooting, all that. They just mentally ill. Mentally ill.
I feel like they called him lone gunman when it first popped out before the mentally ill stuff popped off. But I kind of want to close this out because I feel like we're beating the proverbial dead horse. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
Well, let's talk about Nelly fucking hoes.
Hold on one second, because we got a couple people in the live, and we got to let people know what we're doing a little bit later on in the show. Because that's the big thing. I want to kind of set the groundwork for that. So, to everybody in the live, we're going to be talking about Eminem's freestyle verse on the BET Awards a little bit later in the show. And we're going to bring a couple people in from the live stream, if you're watching it now online, to pretty much give their 2 cents on what they thought about about Eminem's verse on BET and what their stance is on it. Were you for it? Were you against it? Did you think it was hot? Did you think it was whack? And why so? Because me and Mello have been having the conversation all week, but now we want to make you guys a part of the conversation. So I just wanted to take a moment and set the stage for that some of you guys, we're going to plug some of you guys in directly and have a conversation with you later. So stay tuned, keep watching. We're going to reach out to you and talk to as many of you as we can, I promise. So I'm tossing it back to you, Mello. You ready?
Absolutely. Nelly rape.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh my God.
It's getting hot in here.
That's a Hank Hill impression, not a fucking Nelly
Yeah,
impression.
this was a pretty good Hank Hill. Damn it, Bobby.
So gracious rape is bodacious. So this cat basically, it's a simple story. Somebody accused him of rape. He came out, denied it. T.I. came out, backed him. That's really all I got. And I'll tell you something, man. Rape is horrible. She may have got raped. You never know. The only thing I'm looking at is it's so common for motherfuckers to pop up like, on some rape shit, like some rape charges and stuff nowadays, man. You just settle down, get you a nice little babe, man. If you got money, man, just get you a nice little babe and just have consensual sex with one woman. Or just do the Floyd Mayweather and have 7 girlfriends. Whatever you got to do. But just, this shit, it's one of those things where it's like, I didn't even look into the story or anything.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
I got you. Let me jump in the driver's seat. Yeah. Can I do that? Or, no, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
You got it.
Cool. So, of course, they said the woman was 21 in Washington. Said he led her back to the tour bus and tried to have sex with her without a condom. He was arrested on suspected rape charges and then let go almost immediately. His attorney said it was fabricated. He jumped on Twitter, like you said he didn't do it. Everybody backed him, rada. Last night, the young lady, allegedly, she's going to be dropping the charges against Nelly because she doesn't feel, quote unquote, safe enough to go to trial against a big celebrity, since people are already saying horrible things about her and nobody believes her. So
Now that's something I want to talk about because what's his name? The dude who do the Old Spice commercials,
Yeah.
Terry Crews. He came out and
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein,
Yeah.
you know, he got accused of raping like 3 people. So, you know, the one thing he didn't talk about Weinstein specifically, but basically he told a story on Twitter where he was with his wife at a Hollywood party. Somebody, white man, touched his dick. He wanted to beat his ass, but that would fuck up not only his career because the dude was a Hollywood hotshot, but he would also be in the news.
He'd be in
Go to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So, you know, all of that shit is pretty much true. But the one point that he made, and this is like a dude making this point, he's like, you know, he never exposed him or anything like that. And he still didn't expose him because it's one of those things like, are you ready to pretty much put your career on the line? Are you ready to stop working? Are you ready to put your life on the line? You know, are you ready? Nobody's going to believe you. They're going to believe this guy the whole time. You know, they're going to think it's some type of scam or something like that. So, you know, that's Terry Crews, a male celebrity. You know, when it comes to a woman and a famous male celebrity, and she's just a regular citizen and stuff like that, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be 20 times harder for her. And it's sad, you know, especially if Nelly actually did rape her, because it's one of those things where he shouldn't get away with that. You know?
And I think that's why, you know, I think the one thing that Terry Crews did was he put it into perspective for a lot of dudes to understand. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's easy to marginalize the shit like, well, if it was rape, it was rape. And you should say something about it. If there ain't no evidence of the rape happening.
I figured that out during the Cosby shit.
Yeah. If it ain't no evidence of the rape happening, then shut the fuck up then. You didn't get raped. So he showed that there's different levels to this shit. And I feel like a lot of dudes are getting that now because it's like he said, he was like, my first instinct was to fuck him up. But the consequences of me fucking him up, I can't physically prove that he was rubbing on my dick. Like, that's it. There's no way that I can physically, it's just going to look like I beat the crap out of him. And no matter what happens, my reaction in the eyes of any court system wouldn't be justified. I would go to jail. You know what I mean? So I get it,
He
man.
might not even get a platform to say all of that. Like, you know, as far as like, my balls got touched. It's just, he beat him. And that was, like, why he beat him would never come out.
Didn't something similar happen to, like, not necessarily sexual assault, but if we look at, like, what happened with Faison Love, like, Faison Love had a case that popped off a couple months back where somebody at the airport was talking reckless to him. And even though the dude might have been talking reckless to him, Faison Love put some hands on him. Niggas wasn't trying to hear that. All they seen was the footage of Faison Love hooking off on a cat.
That footage, the dude was doing too much in the footage without no audio. So to me, it didn't matter. It looked like he wanted to fight, and Faison gave him the hands. Now, I seen something recently where some white dude at a football game was calling another person who appeared to look Caucasian, but I guess he was Hispanic, a spick at a football game.
Wow.
He said, "Here you spick," pointed in his face. Man, he took off on him, punched him in the face. The cat face is so marshmallow soft. Guess he never been punched in the face in his life. I've never been punched in the face and my cheeks start bleeding. This nigga cheeks started bleeding. The dude didn't have on no rings or nothing like that. He had a football game. But my point in that is when the news got a hold of it, because Twitter put that out there and they showed the footage.
Yeah.
When the news got a hold of it, it's just guy assaults another guy. They didn't put no context to him being called a spick or anything like that.
Or it'd be like Mexican attacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Dallas fan or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to get off of this.
And it was at the Chargers game.
But she allegedly is dropping the charges against Nelly. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. But, you know, I think about, you know, someday if I have kids, it'll probably be like, it's going to be really tough to raise kids in this type of climate because you know what I mean?
It's ridiculous, dude.
Because, like, that puberty phase that you go through where you trying to figure stuff out, especially, like, kids that are, like as a young man growing up, like, 16, 17, and then the world changes for you when you turn 18, right? Because you a full-grown man at that point in time, but you going to school with little girls according to the law. You know what I mean? So You know, like how you see like an 18-year-old, you know, a senior with a freshman and shit like that. That's a problem. You know what I mean? And her parents can make that a problem depending on what happens. So I work, you know, from working in the school system for a short time, like you see crazy shit like that happen to where they treat these young boys like full grown men, and it's less than a year difference. You know what I mean? So
You see, my dude, before we switch, my dude Derek just said, you know, why is she getting on a tour bus? In 2017, girls know what happens on a tour bus. And to a certain extent, he's right.
he's right.
But it's one of those things where, you know, very quickly, they call that victim blaming. Because it's like, you know, it's almost like, you know, you came over at 4 a.m., you know it's about to go down. You wearing slutty clothes. What do you expect? How do you expect people to react to you?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, you know, I agree with all of that logically. Like, logically, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it doesn't justify the actions of the other people. So if Nelly did rape her, like, full-blown, like, penetration or touch her vagina.
I don't think it was that. Go ahead.
But, you know, if it was something like that, then, you know, of course it's bad and there's no way you could justify it. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, and even saying this now in 2017 is like it's so taboo. Like, you know, if you don't have intentions to fuck Nelly, don't get on a tour bus. But
you know, she could have got there and it was just like,
I gotta get a cough drop.
All right. I mean, she could have got there and then things change up. You know what I mean? Like she could have got there and he just whip it out. And she'd be like, oh, whoa, hey, wait a minute. No, she can get on the tour bus and change her mind. Like, that's the thing.
Which is also true.
Like, she can, and I feel like that might have been what happened. Like, something popped off. She changed her mind, said, nah. And
we don't know what happened on that tour bus. He could have snorted a line or something like that. And then, let me not put that on him, but this is all hypothetical. He could have snorted a line and she not down with that shit at all. And it's like, you know, he just turned into a different person. She like, I can't do this shit.
Nigga turned into the Wolf of Wall Street like, hey! Who wants to see me do a song with Tim McGraw? Listen to this. This is the remix. Man, what else we got, man? That's enough of that, man.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, shit. Speaking of old 2002 icons, Tyrese versus The Rock. So we had Nelly and then Tyrese, you know, 2002, man. They all was popping in 2002.
They was, man.
But you know, we talked about that shit, you know, the last week because of the Fast and the Furious being trash.
The Fast family.
Oh man, yo, this cat The Rock came out the tent. I know you had to see the clip. Cat came out the tent.
Wait, hold up. Because you missed it one point before that.
Go ahead.
Like, this cat Tyrese didn't let up off the gas from last week.
I didn't see no more Tyrese shit.
No, cause see, The Rock was ignoring him. And The Rock put out something like, they announced the release date of Fast and the Furious, and I think they said something like February 20th, 2019. Right? Mm-hmm. So, or 2020, something like that. And then The Rock announced his movie and was like, yo, this is going to be great. I appreciate all of y'all, this, that, and the third. This nigga Tyrese went at his neck, like pretty much, fuck all this fuck shit. You still on Twitter tweeting, nigga. Like, I'm not deleting this. You want some fuck nigga shit. Rah, 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 rah. Like, just pulling up, going at him like crazy. Like, you broke up the Fast family, nigga.
Yo,
you making this all about you. You know, we shouldn't have to wait three years to watch this trash. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this cat is like, so The Rock seen all of that, and then it got to the part that you're about to talk about.
Rock came out of tent. You know, Rock dapper, man. My nigga got on a 3X suit that's tight.
Clearly,
it's tight.
Clearly on the set of Ballers, by the way, like working.
Yes. Came out the tent, said, you know, I just listened to Black Rose. Is that the name of it? Black something.
Yeah, Black Rose.
And he was like, you know, Tyrese new album. You guys like it? Everybody heard it? You know, and I have to say, it is the biggest piece of trash I heard in my life. Garbage. Like, he just slammed the shit. And it was funny. I can't say exactly what he said. Do you know exactly what he said?
He's like, hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to my brother here, Tyrese. In my trailer, just got done listening to the Black Rose album, and I've got to say it's the biggest piece of shit I ever heard in my life. Like the biggest, not even like not even human shit, dog shit. Like not even the hard black shit. It's like soft dog shit. It should be called big black piece of dog shit. That's what it's called.
Okay,
like,
man. Like listen, it's levels, and Tyrese don't realize that it's levels to this shit because he's like really worried about the livelihood of his family and shit. So this is serious to him. But it's two things about this, and it's two levels. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Number one, Rock is a wrestler. So The Rock can just shit on you 1,000 different ways. He's a top wrestler as far as entertainer. So he's like he can shit on you, improvise.
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
no, he made a living off of that.
He had an improvised line on Fast and the Furious. Tyrese, one of the lines he had was when The Rock came through. He's like, "Oh, get the baby oil, Sheila, get the baby oil," and then
The Rock was like, "Fuck you."
Nah, he said something like whatever her character name is. Yeah, to put on your big ass forehead or something like that. And then Ludacris spit out his drink. Like it was some crazy shit. But
no, he's the most electrifying man in showbiz.
That's one level.
Yeah.
That's one level. You cannot win on that level. Now let me tell you another level you cannot win on. You better come strapped because you're not fighting that man and winning. You better be strapped on set, ready to pistol whip something, ready to pop something, man. Because if you're in that arm's range, man, you can't lock up with The Rock. You could probably like, you know, hit him in the face a few times or something like that. But this is somebody who's been hit over the head with like chairs and shit in his early 20s. So like, you know how I just talked about the dude who got punched in his face?
Yeah.
And his cheeks started bleeding? You're not punching. It's no punch that's going to make this cat cheeks start bleeding. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
you got it, man, and we're gonna move off of that. Like it's Tyrese got problems, man. You can't The Rock has too much charisma. You can't beat him physically. You can't beat him on an entertainment level. Like it's time to just get the strap, man. You know, gotta how the fuck you miss a whole 100 shots.
Yeah, speaking of beef, your man, young Dolph.
Yes.
The Dolphin Man, the Dolphin Master, Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Ziggler.
You know, never mind, go ahead.
Uh-huh.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
About to say some fucked up shit. Get your shot.
Nah, I ain't listen, I ain't fucking with young Dolph, like, cause that nigga is out here, like, for real. Like, you know,
yeah, it's Dolph. Hey. But anyways, yeah, so you know he got out the hospital. He got shot.
Yes.
You know, on the 101th time.
Yeah, nah, it was horrible. Like,
yeah, so you know, he got shot, he got out, you know, and the grind just don't stop. My man got out the hospital, stepped out the hospital chair in his you know, his silly socks, and said, you know, he got an album dropping Monday. The 20th? Nah, I think he said the 20th actually.
Okay. So,
yeah, that's gonna be in like a week or like Friday or something like that. So yeah, it's gonna be lit. The man is a super hard worker. Like, you know, it's like nothing can stop him, not even bullets. So, you know, shout out to him. I don't got much to say about that.
I mean, it's good to see that he's recovering, you know what I mean? And I know we're going to get some more good music on the way, you know. Thoughts and prayers with him and his family. Hopefully, whatever issues that they have outside of music, they can reconcile so this thing doesn't continue to escalate. Because the last thing we need for black people and for the genre as a whole, like, just ridiculous, senseless loss of life. So we're gonna try and avoid that at all costs. But that's all I got on that one. Let's move on to something else. What else we got?
And man, is this the? Damn, we moving fast as fuck. Like this almost like quick hits, man. It's 34 minutes in, and we on Eminem, man.
Oh,
we're not wasting no time.
All right, so we're gonna call on some of y'all here very briefly, man. I'm just gonna set the stage here while Mello gets this thing set up here for us.
Actually, let's talk about it first.
All right.
Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it. So
let's set the stage. You know, the Eminem freestyle.
Can we skip that? Because I feel like it's big enough to where niggas know what it is. Like,
all right, fuck it.
What did you?
I mean, it's
thoughts?
Yeah, okay. So it was whack.
Okay.
Didn't like the punchlines. The punchlines was forced. I don't like Eminem's cadence when he freestyles a cappella. And even though I don't like his cadence, the joint he did with Royce for the Shady 2.0 and shit like that,
Much better.
The bars were better.
Yeah.
So the content was better. That's the Eminem that I like. The message is great.
Yeah.
The fact that he was willing to piss off a big percentage of his fan base. I don't want to say a big percentage, but kind of a big percentage because he's the top selling rapper of all time.
Yeah.
A lot of white people
He's
bought that shit and trailer trash identifies with him.
To put it into perspective, he's the second most grossing artist in regards to sales in like the past 27 years. The only person that's ahead of him is Garth Brooks.
And I cannot tell you 2 Garth Brooks songs, my nigga. But that's if we just say that, that's a testament on who's buying music.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
just look at that.
But my thing about
you
it
might
is
go from Garth Brooks to Eminem in the whip.
Yep. And we're gonna bring you guys on here in a second, so make sure you stay tuned and stay on. But my perspective on it is, first and foremost, I never liked when Eminem got political, and people who don't really listen to Eminem feel like this is the first time that he's gotten political.
Not at all.
I would say this is the first time that he's had a platform big enough to get his message out to a niche group of people that are directly impacted by the political powers. Like, because, he's got songs like White America, he's got songs like Mosh, and it doesn't necessarily resonate with the demographic that watches BET.
He also dissed Trump before.
Yeah.
Like,
he's dissed Trump 3 times.
Before this.
Yeah, he's dissed Trump. This might be the 3rd time, but the first time he had a campaign speech freestyle, okay? That might have been in 2016, and if you guys can recall, they were trying to get him fired for, like, hate speech. Or not fired, but they were trying to do something like treat it as like hate speech. And then he did it again on the featured verse he had on Big Sean's album. He said, "Trump's a bitch, I'll make his whole shit go under." A whole bunch of shit like that. So he's been doing that. He's been consistent. But also, other artists have been doing it, and I feel like the other artists have been doing it much better. They just aren't as celebrated as Eminem.
Now, see, this is where I got to talk because, a lot of people were saying, oh, man, he the first rapper to step up to Trump. Now all these other rappers got to step into place. Why ain't these other cats been saying nothing? And it's like YG and motherfucking Nipsey Hussle had a Fuck Donald Trump tour after their song Fuck Donald Trump.
Nigga, Killer Mike endorsed Bernie Sanders going against Trump. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, dog.
This has been since day one.
Motherfucking Snoop Dogg had a video where he got Trump shot and Steve Harvey ass was on the radio. You don't need to do that to put the social service come to your door.
T.I. spoke on that as well and was like, Steve Harvey, stop cooning.
Same with Bow Wow.
Bow Wow said, we're going to pimp your wife.
So, yeah, when Trump first got in office, shit was real wild. A lot of people spoke out.
I'm sorry, J. Cole has said fuck Donald Trump on every tour stop he's had this summer. Led the crowd in chants and all of that stuff.
Like, dog, he hasn't been in for a year. And some of these artists don't release music like, all throughout the year. So just give it some time. Like, somebody like Drake, of course, we don't expect Drake to say nothing. That's not his place.
He's Canadian. He's got dual citizenship.
Even then, he made a statement on Instagram when Trump did something. I can't remember what he did.
Yeah, I remember that. And people didn't really take it seriously.
It
might have been the Muslim ban.
Yeah, I think so. It was either that or I don't think it was the white supremacist rally shit, but
no,
regardless, he said, divisive times, He didn't directly address Trump, but it was subliminal, like some of his best disses.
Jay-Z was even in an interview and they asked him about Trump, and he said, I feel like he's not an honorable man. So, like, the thing is, like, rappers up until this point have been very vocal in their displeasure for this guy. There's songs out there, there's disses out there. It's just that I feel like Eminem is so big and such a huge force in hip-hop that to the casual fan, when he says something, it's the first time it's ever been said in the history of rap, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, and y'all motherfuckers need to stop with that Eminem can say nigga and
Yeah,
all
nah,
that
stop that.
motherfucking. Oh man,
No,
he doing this for the black community, and y'all ain't like dog.
all that.
Nobody is saying that the message is fucked up or he shouldn't be sending the message. We just don't feel the verse. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. That's it.
Everybody loves a message.
And that's the problem. Like Cats is jumping out the window, celebrating too early. Like Cats was on him like super heavy, and then that tape that he did in 2006 that Benzino brought up,
Yeah.
where he was talking about black women. When that resurfaced, everybody was like fake outraged. But it was like, yo, y'all put him on this platform. Y'all was the one saying
Dog.
he's invited to the cookout, and now y'all trying to walk these statements back.
Don't
this
act
is-
like y'all
this-
ain't fucking heard that Benzino. That shit was like over
That's
well over
10
10
years
years. That's
old.
like
It's been out.
dog. I think it's over 10 years old for real. Like,
Yeah, no,
it's well over 10 years old for real.
It is, and I'm like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all so quick to, y'all don't really know who y'all giving cosigns to. You know what I mean? Y'all just see something, y'all take a whole gesture, and y'all run a mile. It's like how I said earlier in the show, like the dude you was talking about. Yeah, he was a fucking scumbag. He hates women. He's a womanizer or whatever. But he stepped up. He did one good thing. That doesn't necessarily mean we need to we need to say, hey, he's a fucking hero. No, in that moment in time, we needed a hero, or those people needed somebody, and he stepped up and he helped out. Still doesn't negate all the shit that he did in the past, and it doesn't mean he's going to be a better person moving forward. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to look at the person as a whole and understand what it is that they're bringing before you just go ahead and give your full cosign. Because that diss that he let out, I understand the story behind it. I understand the context behind it. It's 12, 13 years old. He apologized for it. And moving forward, it's not like an R. Kelly situation where he's like, R. Kelly's still out here dating young girls and capturing bitches and shit like that.
Capturing.
Eminem hasn't.
Motherfucking chick coming out TGI Fridays just put a bag over her fucking head.
Eminem hasn't.
That's not funny.
Yeah, but come here, bitch. Get in the car. Taken.
I know your body.
But no, I mean, it's all in, moving forward from that point, because I understand he was younger. He was a kid. He had his heart broke. Rada, rada, rada. He apologized for that. All the albums he's made, I've never really heard him say anything derogatory in specific directed towards women of color.
I mean, it's one of those things where it is what it is at this point, man.
Yeah,
like,
man.
We done make, like, y'all done been supporting them for like thousands of years. Well, not thousands, but for over a decade. Almost 20. Well, actually, yeah, it'll be 20 years in like 2 years. So, that shit.
No, it's 1990, 2000. No, I'm sorry.
1999.
What the fuck type of math am I doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
1999, bro.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah. So, I mean, as far as black people, just stop jumping out the window. That's it. It is what it is, man. I appreciate it. We all should appreciate it. It's cool. But, just some of the shit that motherfuckers was saying, like, he's not a black activist or nothing like that. Don't quit with the trolling and shit.
Yeah, I think it should be celebrated. Don't get me wrong, like as far as the message, but the lyrics was really the big problem. And I think that with all of that, people are so thirsty for people to speak. Because the thing is, Trump is such a horrible guy that anybody that speaks out against him, you're going to try and elevate that person. But I think people are really jumping out the window with this one, largely because at best the verse is mediocre. But let's bring some people on.
Let's get to it.
See what they have to say. Yeah. So SJ, you know what I mean? We got SJ on the show. Hip hop artist out of Youngstown, Ohio. I've had the privilege of doing some work with him. We've also got a song together, on his album. The song's called Rock the Rock.
You see yourself.
Yep. So SJ, let's talk it out, man. How do you feel about Eminem's verse on the BET Hip Hop Awards?
Honestly, truthfully, like I dug the verse. Honestly, I like a lot of people are saying like it's whack and blah blah blah. Like it's definitely, I'll agree in the sense that it's definitely not his best freestyle ever. Like that's by a long shot, no. But I guess what got me was the message behind it. And I've been following all of the rappers, up until this point that have been, speaking out against Donald Trump. And like for me, and I was like, this is just another big artist that uses platform, to stand up for what he believes in. And any artist with a huge platform like that that's willing to lose fans over what he believes in, that's a bad mofo right there. That's just that's just how I feel.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I'm with you there. I'm with you so far. So let me ask this: How now? He's got an album coming out November 17th. I don't necessarily know the title of it just yet, but how much of this verse do you attribute to promotion to the album, or do you just think that it was time for him to come out and do this? Basically, let me rephrase the question. Do you feel like this was a verse to promote his album? Yes or no, and why or why not?
Uh, just given the content, no,
Okay.
because it seemed like, well, but then you also got to look at some of the other factors too, because he hasn't been on the BET cipher in like a long time. He hasn't been involved in any of that stuff. He hasn't been on the BET ciphers like in a while, and so for him to come back, I feel like it was perfect timing for the album. I think the album was already like planned out and stuff, and then like this whole thing probably, maybe, just came out of the woodwork. Like, hey, you want to join the BET cipher? Like with the recent signing of Boogie and the other cats from Buffalo, I feel like it was just a perfect time to address that because nobody expected it.
Got you. What do you feel? What do you feel about the oh, let me talk into the mic, I'm sorry. How do you feel about the crowd's response to his verse? You know what I mean? Like like people are like, this is the best thing ever. Do you feel that same way, or do you feel like the media is responding a little, they're sensationalizing it a little too much?
I think they're sensationalizing it just due to the fact that Eminem is Eminem, and I
Okay.
think a lot of people has overlooked the other rappers who have been doing it. Like I said, I've been following since the campaign started. So I've been following like YG, Nipsey Hussle, um, who else? Like J. Cole, Jay Z. Like I've seen all the interviews. I've seen all that stuff. In regards to Donald Trump. So like when Eminem did it, because of the fact that he was one of my favorite rappers coming out to speak against it, I was like, okay, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? But I do feel like, going back to the point, I do feel like the media did sensationalize it just due to the fact that nobody really expected from Eminem.
And that trips me out because he's always been political, but not as political as like a Quelly. So I get it, but that's my final question here for you, Mello. Do you have anything?
Nah, that's really it,
All
man.
right,
I'm glad that you came and gave your opinion.
yeah,
We're gonna pass somebody else in,
yeah.
but we
I had to get
appreciate you,
on
bro.
the podcast before I went to China, so
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Before you get off, do you got anything you want to plug? We're giving you 30 seconds. Don't draw it out. 30 seconds.
seconds. Check out No Limits EP. It features the song Rock the Rock by me and DTown. Also new music coming out by me, J1, Black Cloud, everybody in 1093. So yeah, just be on the lookout for all that stuff. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting us, and it's the nation.
All right. Hey, SJ, thanks again, man. Make sure y'all check him out. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, bro.
Good luck.
All right, so we're gonna keep it going. Again, we're talking about Eminem's verse on the BET Hip Hop Awards. We're trying to break down, what it is that you guys feel about it, how you guys feel about it. You know what I mean? So we just had SJ on, artist out of Youngstown. He gave his 2 cents.
We're gonna reach out to somebody else right now.
Okay,
Todd, is you trying to get on?
Todd, you trying to get on, man?
We'll invite him, man.
All right, we'll invite Todd on, but while he does that, I'll keep talking. So, again, we're pretty much just gonna ask you guys if you thought the verse was hot or if you thought it was garbage, and of course, why or why not, and we'll have the conversation from there. But again, I think this is really good for hip hop. You know what I mean? It gives it gives us a chance to kind of talk about it as people and break down, how we feel about it in a or allows us to have a very civil discourse about hip
Now,
hop.
the one thing I do want to talk about that you mentioned that we didn't really discuss was, him doing it for promotion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's two levels and two layers to that. The first is, I don't think that he did it, like, as far as the content. I don't think the content was to promote the album as far as, him dissing Trump or anything like that. I don't think that was, I think that was coming from a genuine place because he's been doing that. And that's the type of stances that he takes. Now, as far as him pretty much popping up on the Cypher, he pops up on a BET Cypher when he has to promote something. That's a part of the marketing plan.
Yeah.
Just the appearance, that's a part of the marketing plan. So, and if you think it's not, Eminem, if you don't think the label is pretty much coming up with a brilliant marketing plan for this motherfucker, you haven't been paying attention for the past few Eminem albums. He always has commercials. He'll be on Saturday Night Live and shit like that. Like, so it is what it is, man. That's basically how it breaks down for me.
Yeah. So real quick, how you feeling, man?
How y'all doing?
All right, bro. Doing all right. So we talking about the Eminem stuff, man.
Yeah.
The Eminem verse. So go ahead, ask him the questions, man.
So we're talking about Eminem's verse on the BET Hip Hop Awards Cypher, and we want to know, how do you feel about it? Do you feel like it was hot, or do you feel like it was garbage?
I felt like it was hot, honestly. Like, I mean, like y'all was pretty much saying, it wasn't the best bars that we heard from him, but we know he can spit already. You know what I'm saying? We know he got bars. So I feel like in this instance, the message was way more important than any bars he could have spit. You know what I mean? He could have put the words together maybe better, but I respected what he did, and I thought I was appreciative of it.
Okay, so you appreciated the message pretty much more than the bars and everything, correct?
Because we know M got bars. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
as far as this right here, do you think that anything about what he was doing, from the appearance to the verse or anything like that, do you think, because he has an album coming out soon,
November 17th, yeah.
do you think any of this, any aspect of this was set up to help promote an album? And if so, how much? And if not, why not?
yes, he definitely was on the Cypher because he has an album coming out. That's 100% accurate. Now, what he rapped about, I don't think that was to promote an album. Because if you promote an album, you probably gonna come with better bars. And him rapping on this ain't making me go buy no Eminem next album. Like that didn't do nothing for me to say I want to hear new M songs. And I feel like if he might have could have did that if he came with better bars, I might have would have said that, but nah. But he definitely was on the BET Cypher because of that. Like, but I think it just fell into place as well. Like, I do have an album coming out. Y'all do the freestyle cyphers at the BET Awards. So I just think it just coincidence, yeah, you know what I mean? On that type of tip.
Okay. That's pretty much all I got, man.
Well, I'm gonna ask.
I think he's nailing it right now, man.
But you like Eminem, right? You listen to Eminem?
I listen to old M.
Okay, so you're not trying. So either way, you're not trying to hear no new shit.
I mean, I'm gonna give it a listen, but I probably stopped listening to Eminem realistically. It was what, the Eminem show? What was after the Eminem show?
Encore?
Curtain Call?
Maybe
Encore, the last Eminem album that I really listened to. Anything after that, I'm not here for that.
And you know what? That was when he got, like, you could really tell, like, the drugs and shit like that was taking over, because
I like drugs with artists, though. I like my artists to be drugged up.
Yo, you're a future fan. You gotta be a future fan.
I respect the honesty, but a drugged up Eminem, you get a whole song as Triumph, the insult dog. Oh my God, man. But that's all I pretty much got. Do you got anything else you want to?
Nah, that's it. Because I was gonna ask you what you expect out of the album, but I mean, none of us know because you kind of get a different Eminem every album, so who knows?
So
I'm anticipating it because none of us know where to go, where it's going. You know, is he going on the I don't want to mention Jay, but the 444 tip, or who knows? I'm anxious for it though. I'm gonna play it.
I'll say his 444 album already came based off of me being a fan. I want to say it's the Recovery album because on that album, he didn't get as personal as Jay, but he did talk about how he apologized for some really bad albums, some really bad songs. And he also talked about how he wrote diss verses like against Lil Wayne and stuff like that for no reason because he was just high out of his mind. So, I mean, I don't know where we're gonna go with this M album, but I hope it's decent. You know what I mean? The first single out is with him and Pink, and I don't like those type of Eminem records. You know what I mean?
Not at all. Yo, I don't think they used to like each other at one point. I don't know.
I feel like he said something about her.
When he was dissing all them pop stars.
What's up?
Is that song out?
Yeah, the song is called Revenge, and I believe it's out already. But Art, man, we're gonna wrap things up with you, man. We appreciate you tuning in. We got 30 seconds. I know you're a busy man. Are you working on anything? Do you got anything you want to plug?
Oh man, I ain't really got. Hey, I'm gonna plug the.
You can plug the motherfucking Jingle Jam. That shit's every year.
Plug the Migos concert.
Okay. Hey, yeah, that is right.
Right.
All right, Migos, Youngstown, December what?
December 2nd, I think.
No doubt, man. Art, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Very civil discourse, man. That's it. That's
Appreciate you, bro.
Ball up a fist and keep it balled like Donald the bitch.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Walk inside a mosque on Ramadan with a bunch of armor on. Smack a bitch and tell her I got a harder on. Like, all right.
Only thing this this orange fuck is fantastic for
because he's racism's the only thing he's fantastic for because he's tan and he's orange. I jump in a porch and run it through his porch. Like, all right. We got it, man.
Just give him a beat. Give him a beat. Somebody give him a beat.
Stones and sticks, throw this at the wall until it sticks. Politics.
I seen somebody, and I respect Eminem on the highest level, and I think he's the highest caliber of MC that there is. Seriously. But I seen somebody say that Eminem could destroy any rapper in 30 seconds. So, well, first off, that's wild because I don't think there's a rapper. It's not too many rappers that can destroy another top tier rapper in 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds, it's not long. That might be 8 bars, 12 bars. It's not gonna happen. And if we look at these battle rap dudes nowadays, like the shit done hit a whole different level.
Yeah, it's a whole.
Now I feel like M could battle in this. Like he definitely can battle in this era, but he would have to go into the hyperbolic time chamber and not pull a Joe Button or Cassidy and just like really be on his shit.
Hyperbolic rhyme chamber.
Hyperbolic rhyme.
That I want that to be the name of my album so bad,
man.
And I feel like now that I put that out there, somebody's gonna take it. Like, but y'all heard it here first. Like
hyperbolic rhyme chamber.
Hyperbolic rhyme chamber. But
make that a song. I've been wanting to do like a over 9,000 freestyle, but I know like 1,000 motherfuckers done did that.
Crazy 8's got one. Yeah.
I'm sure he does, man, because he missed the Dragon Ball Z.
I feel like he got that, the remix and the EDM mix. And the country mix.
I was thinking about making a series of tracks like
Attack of the Iran.
It was gonna be called the Genjutsu series, and one is Kekkei Genkai, and the other one is gonna be
Bakugan.
Yeah, just all of that shit.
Sharingan, Mangenkyo Sharingan.
Yeah, exactly. And just like whatever I'm saying.
Oh, dog, that was gonna be one of my AKAs.
What?
Sauce. Okay.
And on that note, we are out. So, mellodeebeats.com. Mello Dee Beats on Instagram, Mello Dee beats on YouTube. I'm going to start making beats on YouTube, man. You know, and I'm gonna make the videos like 15 minutes or less, man. You know, just cook ups like this is how you make a 21 Savage beat. You know, that type of shit.
In 10 minutes or less.
Yeah, you know, just to influence the 16-year-olds.
Oh no, do that. That's a dope series. The 21-minute cook up.
Oh, dog, come on, man.
That's a dope. Like
I do that shit on live all the time, but it would be better on YouTube. I got one joint on YouTube with me cooking live, but you know, it's one of those things like I'm gonna just start doing it to cultivate the shit, man.
Nah, I'm telling you, do that shit. Do it as often as you can. Monetize that shit. Just there's your residual income, baby. See, and I don't want to jump back into it, but I'm telling y'all, I'm giving y'all the sauce now. I'm giving y'all the game for free. Do what you love live on YouTube. Figure out how to do it, and just make it a tutorial. You know what I mean? That's gonna be because people are using YouTube to search for things, and like we said with Mello, man, just make it you know, even though you're making the beat, post it as a tutorial after you've gone live, monetize it. You know, you get a little bit of money, you get pennies on the dollar from people watching it, man, and just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. You know what I mean? That's residual income for you. I can't say that you'll get thousands of dollars off of it, but the things that artists are doing now is they have several different streams of residual income, not just limited to one. You're not just doing it off music, you're not just doing it off streams, you're not just doing it off of live shows. They have multiple streams of income. So I'm just saying that's one of the many ways that you could start to get paid for your passion.
Absolutely, and you know, also go check out Anybody. You know, my song on SoundCloud. If you gotta go to the SoundCloud, man, it's Mello Dee tracks. But if you type in Mello Dee Anybody, it should come up.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Go ahead.
And it's your boy DTown, aka Tuxedo Flask, aka Super Saiyan Ultra Instinct Gloku, aka the 8th xOquhK, aka we can't stop him. The Sharingan. He's got the sauce. K. You can check me out on executive-dtown.com. Go listen to Money. It's on Tidal, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Pandora, across all digital platforms. Show me some love, man. And with that being said, I also want to shout out our guests that were on today's show. Art Ward promoting the Migos concert in December, and SJ promoting No Limits. Appreciate you guys coming on, having a civil discourse with us about hip hop, even though I feel like the Donald the bitch line is probably the worst Eminem line like ever. Ever.
Who knows? But yeah, we out. You know, Audi Fatawi.
White paint wetter than new rain.
Time out before we end. There's a Lil Wayne line.
Yes.
The motherfucker said something like, damn, I forgot it.
I beat a nigga ass like 1,000 belts.
1,000 arms, but he said something like, man, I tell a deaf bitch something and she feel like,
Yo, can we?
It's crazy.
Listen, I think I figured out the topic for next week. Should we have cats call in with the worst Lil Wayne punchline or the craziest Lil Wayne punchline?
Nah, because niggas love Lil Wayne so much.
It'll get niggas thinking though, like, cause that nigga said some shit, like,
Man, but yeah, we out.
peace.